Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. How are you all today? So, first things first, in the whole afternoon since just now, you may occasionally see me yawn. It's not that Sifu has not enough sleep. It's also not that Sifu eat a lot. Sometimes I do eat a lot because there's a lot of food. But today is because, sometimes when your nose is totally blocked, then you cannot really breathe. Then sometimes your nose is not blocked, then you can breathe very well. So today is one of those days where it is like semi-blocked. So you feel like you can breathe, but then like not quite there. Yeah, then so the body compensates by yawning. Which maybe in a way is in line with today's topic, active listening. Imagine if you are talking to someone and that person, yeah, probably not very convincing, that the person is listening at all. But before that, let's go through our weekly ritual. Why are we all going to the back? Next time I must sit behind. So who is new here for the first time or has not introduced yourself before? On my left, let me see. On my left, I think most are season parking holders. Some has changed a hairstyle. Okay, how about down the aisle? Okay, I think all season parking holder. Okay. How about on my right? Let's see. Yes. So a few of y'all. Okay. Tell us your name. Wow, 73. Well done. Yeah, that's some years back. Yeah. Good. Yeah. So welcome back. So where do you disappear to? No, okay, don't tell us. Can't call. Yeah lah. I see. Don't worry, the rest of them also feel that way. Naturally drop off. 有事上三宝殿。Never sleep well. Don't worry. Listening to my voice, people sleep well. Don't know what to do, come SGC. Yeah. But jokes aside, I was just mentioning this, about how for many people, as we approach retirement age, it is quite a huge transition, more so than a person starting to work. Yeah, because before we start working, we were busy studying anyway. So most of our youth, in the first 50 years of our life, we are always busy doing something. We have a huge sense of purpose, things to look out for, things to look forward to, either for ourselves or for our family members. But then for most people, by the time we reach 50-ish to 60, if we are married with children, our children would in all likelihood be maybe in their late 20s or early 30s. Yeah, already started on their own journey. And so for many people in their late 50s to early 60s, suddenly there's this vacuum, this void in terms of our own self-purpose, and then related to that, our self-worth. Yeah. So the truth is, whatever self-worth there is, it's really up to us. We don't have to be measured by how much we do for our children. Yeah? Our life consists of many different roles that we play. You just missed the Heart Sutra in English. We just finished last week. Don't worry, the Chinese class is starting soon. Yeah, we covered that. But we don't have to go through the whole 10 weeks just to touch on that. We'll explore more as we go, okay? Yeah, welcome back. Who else is new with us? Anybody? Kara, keep smiling. Why? Have you not introduced before? Never, huh? First time, oh, you must have attended other of my classes, is it? Because yeah lah. Okay. Because I find you familiar.
Because I'm the volunteer there also.
No wonder. Tell us your name.
Li Ching.
Li Ching. And so, who brought you here today? Welcome. Yeah. Sometimes I get a bit confused also, because after conducting classes in different places, then sometimes they sit right in front of me and I don't know that they are new. Yeah, because multiple classes. So who else is here for the first time? Let me see. There's a lady, some third row, second from the right. Yeah, I think she looks new. I think she's with her friend today. Yes, she's very happy that Sifu noticed. Yes.
Actually, I came a few times already.
Oh, but introduced before not?
Yeah, I introduced before. So anyway, I'm Jessie.
Oh, no, not you, the other girl.
Oh yeah, she's my friend.
You, I know, I see you many times. You introduced before. But you can introduce her, it's okay. Now the one who just spoke is all red. How about your friend? Have she introduced before? Yeah lah, you are the one.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Vivian.
Vivian. And so your friend brought you here? Okay, anything else you want to tell us? Welcome. Yeah. So your friend can collect one more sweet later. Anybody else that we missed out? Let me see. Behind is Jen's lovely boys and girl. Okay, I think that's it. Everybody accounted for. Okay, very good afternoon to everyone. Again, welcome to SGC. So, today we have an interesting topic. What is today's topic? Active listening, yes. Looks like my font has not improved yet. And I think I set it too thick. Okay. Hang on. how to adjust the thickness. Yes. Active listening. Eh? Eh? Okay, never mind, it's okay. Anyway, color is free. Okay, active listening. Yes. The full title for today's session is Comms 101. Is it 102 already? 101, huh? Okay, active listening. In the, you know why it's called 101? Do you all know? If you study in NUS, the course code is 4-digit. Yeah, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. In NTU, for us, it's 100, 200, 300, 400. And the number in front indicates the level. Yeah. So 100 is the introduction. Yeah. So in many classes or workshops or those talks, then they usually have something 101, yeah, which means this is a primer class. So active listening. Yeah, why is active listening the first thing? Yeah, 101 usually refers to the first thing to take note. Yeah, why is it considered a 101 for communication? Yeah, why is it not talking, not how to talk, yeah, but how to listen? Yeah, active listening. We can also call it mindful listening. Yeah, active listening versus mindful listening. Yeah, mindful listening. So what is active listening and what is mindful listening? And how does that matter in our communication? Why is it crucial? First, how do we usually listen? How do we usually talk to people? Today we will be doing some exercises. Yeah. Later on, I will be showing you some passages. Yeah. And then I want you all to read. Yeah. Read on your own. And after that, I will close it up. And then you all try to repeat what was inside. Yeah. So that is just a precursor to active listening. Yeah, because listening, you don't even have things to see, you know. Yeah, at least words, you can reread what is inside. But what about listening? Yeah, so there are various stages. We'll go through some of these exercises to let you experience for yourself, to see for yourself how much we are able to pay attention. Yeah? Because active listening or mindful listening is really about our attention. Yeah? And then after that, we'll break you all into small groups, either in 4 or in 2s. Yeah? For the first round, you may want to try with your friend first. Yeah? Then later on, maybe look for someone that you do not know, and then pair it up and try out. And what are we going to try? We're going to try not just active listening, but also inactive listening. Yeah? We're going to get you to try for yourself and take turns. One person will share, and then the other person, for one round, try to listen as closely as you can, and after that repeat what you heard. And then there's another round would be one person sharing, but the other person not paying attention. Yeah? Outwardly showing the lack of interest. Yeah. Oh. So are y'all ready? Ready, yeah? I need to get some passages for you. So I want you all to do a simple exercise first. Look around you, left and right, forward and backward. I give you 3 minutes. Say hello to people around you. And introduce yourself. Yeah. Tell the people around you what your name is. Don't just chit chat with your friend. Look for someone whom you are new to. Yeah, you can also stand up and look around for new people. Don't be shy. I know you all have been waiting for this opportunity. Yeah, you must make sure you know at least 3 persons' name, okay? Because Sifu will ask you later. Sorry? What's my real name? My Dharma name is Chuan Guan. Yes. Yeah, so you must call me the Supreme Leader, most venerable, exalted. Okay. So, okay, have you all known at least 3 more persons already? Yes, okay, later I'll test you, okay? Yeah, so I want you to just read this part, okay? So, this part here, okay? So I give you all 30 seconds to read. Actually, I'm giving you all a lot of chance because you all are already reading. So 30 seconds. Actually, it's so short, you all can just read it in 10 seconds. So 30 seconds to read just the first line. The story of 7 buns. Okay, read. Use your eyes to read, okay? Those who sit behind, you cannot see, you can come in front. If you are sitting in front and you cannot see, open your eyes. Three, two, one. Okay, time's up. Okay, so who would like to volunteer and tell the story? Come lah, try lah. Anyone? Just share the story. The one line, it's just one line. Yeah, just share what you can remember of the story. Huh? How? Anyone? You want? Try? Yay! Okay, tell us your name. Tell us your name. Tell us your name. Tell them your name. You're shy. The name, the boy called Shy. Shyrado. No, never switch on. Press the bottom. Oh, it's on. So your voice is shy. Oh, no battery. Okay, louder.
Hello, my name is Ash.
What? Your name is what?
Ash.
Ash? Azer? Ash. Bichino. Huh? Is it correct? Chinglo. Okay. So tell us the story.
We were 2 friends.
Uh-huh. Okay, wait. Come over here. Okay, how? Okay. You look at me, okay? Don't look at the screen. Can you promise that? Don't look at the screen. Okay. So you all can see for yourself, okay? There were 2 friends.
The other name, Xiao Ming.
Uh-huh.
And the other Xiaoming was really hungry.
Uh-huh.
Then they get something to eat.
Yes, very good. Take a look at the story. You get almost word for word, you know. Huh? Did you think he did very well? Yes. Yeah, excellent. Yeah. So he tried. So how about the rest? How much did you remember? How many of you remembered 100%? 90%? 90%? 80%? 60%? Actually, the number is a bit hard. Huh? How many of you remember that there are two friends? Okay. How many of you remember the names? Both the names, Xiaoming and Xiaohua. Okay. How many of you remember that one of them is hungry? Oh, you see, you have very active reader. And how many of you remember correctly that Xiaoming was the one who is hungry? And then that they decided to get something to eat. Well done. And the story is about how many buns? Okay, now we shall go on to the next part of the story. Now we'll increase the difficulty level. Now you have 20 seconds to read. Okay, dun 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 dun. Okay, start now. Can you all see? Wow, never see you all so serious before. Usually during Dhamma talk. Oh, today? Time's up. Okay. Okay, let it settle down. Let it settle in your mind. And then start to think about your work, start to think about cha fan, cha kway teow, and then some of it is starting to become blur already. Very good. You know, my niece and nephew, yeah, Ryan is here today. Sometimes Ryan will be doing his maths, then I see him counting, then I will purposely make fun of him, and then I will just look at him, and then I will start saying, Ryan, 34, 75, 46, 33, 40. And then he's trying to count, and then I'll throw him all kinds of numbers until he's like, ah! Yeah. So by now, you are all so distracted by the story I just said. So now you get to pick someone. You pick someone. Don't pick your father and mother, okay? Pick somebody else. Whoever you pick, then they have to tell at least one part of the story. The next part. It's already 2:10. Come on. Choose someone. You don't have to know the name. You just point at that person. Who? This one. Zhou Bing. Not fun, Zhou Bing. Huh? Choose somebody else. Choose someone in the middle. Huh? Which one?
Cannot be the boy.
Mummy. Okay, come. Give her a round of applause. Okay, tell us your name.
My name is Huang Ke.
Yes. So tell us the second part of the story.
Okay, the second part of the story is Xiaoming ate the second bomb, but he still feel hungry. So
Xiaoming what?
Xiaoming ate the second bomb.
Uh-huh.
Buns.
Okay. And then?
He still feel hungry.
Okay.
So Xiaohua ordered another one for him.
Oh, okay. So Xiaoming ate a second bun.
Yeah.
So fast you jump to second bun already. How come? Did I tell? Oh, that means when I wrote this story, I missed out some things. Yeah, this was 7 years ago. Okay, so wait. So Xiaoming, what? Ate the second bun and then? And then?
Xiaoming ate the second bun, but he still feel hungry.
Uh-huh.
So Xiaohua ordered another
Ah, okay. So let's take a look. Dun, 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 dun. Is it correct? Yes, very good. Yes, so Xiaoming ate the second bun, but was still hungry. So Xiaohua ordered another one for him. Very strangely, all these years, nobody asked me what happened to the first bun. Oh boy. Yeah. There are a lot of variants of this story. Sometimes it's prata, sometimes it's bun. Yeah. So, yeah. It's only today I realized that, how come, where's the first bun? Okay, now you have 10 seconds. Okay, all of you have 10 seconds. I'm sure all of you, how many of you miss out any details here? Did you all remember correctly that it was Xiaoming who ate the bun? Yeah, did you all remember it as the first bun or second bun? Yeah, and then who ordered the second one? The next one? Xiaohua, because there's only 2 persons. If suddenly there's Dahua, then you know something is wrong. Okay, so now you have 10 seconds for the next part. Are you all ready? Go. Okay, ready? Time's up. Okay. Huh? What happened? Haven't even read. Life is always full of surprises. How many of you managed to read it? How many of you didn't manage to really read it? I mean, it's okay. It was quite fast because I started counting 10 seconds and then I was scrolling up. Yeah, so some of you may not even catch it. Yeah? How many of you read halfway and then time was up already? Yeah. So, but for those who didn't read the whole thing, because if you read the whole thing, you probably, yeah. For those who read halfway, can one of you who read halfway volunteer? Or Wang Ke, maybe you can point to somebody else. Cannot point to your husband lah. Point to somebody else. Okay. So what is the next line after the first line? Xiaoming ate the second bun, then? Not Ali come and order the third one. No. Okay, now point to another person. Okay. Then after that,
he's still hungry.
who is still hungry?
Xiaoming ate the
Lost count already.
Yeah, he ate the fourth bun. He's still hungry. Then Xiaohua ordered him.
Okay. Point to another person.
Xiaoming ate the fifth bun and still hungry. Xiaohua ordered for him again.
Okay. No. Just pass to another person. Let the other person eat the next bun.
Xiaohua ordered the sixth bun for Xiaoming.
Okay. Okay, next one.
So Xiaoming ate the seventh bun and finally was full.
Yeah, and finally was full. Okay, let's see how well they have done. Okay, so after Xiaoming ate the second bun, so Xiaohua ordered another one. So Xiaoming ate the third bun, but was still hungry. So Xiaohua ordered another one for him. Xiaoming ate the fourth bun, but was still hungry. This is a very simple story. So Xiaohua ordered another one for him. Xiaoming ate the fifth bun. Can you see the pattern?
Yes.
But was still hungry. So Xiaohua ordered another one. Xiaoming ate the sixth bun, but was still hungry. So Xiaohua ate another one, ordered another one. Then what happened? Xiao Ming ate the 7 bun and was finally full. Yes. How did they do? Did they get everything correct? Yes, very good. Now, you notice that as we went from the first line to the second to the third until the last line was the only one that is quite unique. Yeah, the ending is different. But if you recall how they repeated the story, you'll find that the first one was almost intact. The second one condensed some information and just highlighted that Xiao Ming ate the bun, and then Xiao was still hungry, and then Xiao Hua ordered another one. Yeah, and it became simpler and simpler until the sixth bun was just Xiao Hua ordered another one. Yeah. Sometimes in our communication, when there's a lot of repetition, we tend to then, what happens? What do? We sort of like miss out all the details. This is a very natural part of the way we think, the way we listen. In a way, this is intelligence, the ability to spot patterns. And with this, although there are multiple lines, there's actually just a few key elements. Yeah, 2 persons. What are 2 persons? Xiao Ming and Xiao Hua. And then what did the two of them do in the story? One eat, one order. Yeah. So if you were to condense the story, then it's just these few key pieces of information. Yeah, 2 persons, one hungry, one order. Yeah, one eat, one order. That's it. And you repeat it a few times until the 7th bun, and then Xiao Ming is full, not Xiao Hua. Maybe next time I shall change it, that in the end Xiao Hua is the one who is full, and see whether anybody noticed. In fact, do you know for sure that on the screen it was Xiao Ming and not Xiao Hua? What if I actually wrote Xiao Hua instead? Yeah, would you notice? Psychologists have done a lot of studies and realize that we don't notice this kind of small changes, you know. Yeah. And this is an interesting thing about communication. When there's too much repetition, we tend to just switch off. Yeah. So part of it is the listening, part of it is the way we communicate. Yeah, don't keep on repeating yourself. When you repeat too many times, people filter it off. But at the same time, how do we train ourselves to really pay attention? So earlier on, what we've done is let you read. Yeah. But since we are at it, I'm going to let you see the whole story. There's actually a point to this story. Okay, so I let you read the rest. Wow, I didn't know it's so long. Oh, okay, wait, up to here. Okay, here. Finished? Anybody need more time? There's a few more lines below. Have you all finished reading? Yes? Who needs more time? You need more time? Quick read. me just go up and let you read the rest. Up to here. Can I screw up? Finished? Maybe this will help you read better. Maybe we can lower the screen so we can see more. 要用省吗？啊，OK。Finish the first paragraph. Finish the first paragraph. Finish the first paragraph. Okay, let me know when you are finished, or rather when you have finished reading. 七个包子的故事。Okay, so who would like to volunteer to repeat what you have read? Would anybody even want to attend? Do you think it's possible? If I give you more time, maybe it's possible. Yeah? How many of you don't feel confident to be able to repeat what you have read? Don't feel confident? Yeah, don't worry, you're normal. So think about it. When we go through this, it seems like, this is quite a task, because we are talking about quite a few paragraphs. But if you think about it, when you're having a conversation with someone, it is very similar to this. Because whatever you have heard, once you have heard it, it's gone already. So if you're not paying close attention, it's very easy to miss out chunks of the conversation. Yeah, it's very easy to do that. When I came back from US for a short trip, I had lunch with my ex-colleagues. And over lunch, I saw them, as usual, when you're eating, you have your small talk, you have your conversation. Yeah? And of course, they being colleagues, they will talk about the projects they are doing and maybe talk about some things related. But as I sat there eating and then I look up and I observe what they are doing, it dawned on me that they are talking, but they are not conversing. Yeah, they are not conversing. A was talking about something and B appeared to be listening, but then wasn't really listening. Recently I saw this very interesting statement. Most of the time we are listening not to understand, but we are listening, waiting for an opportunity to reply. And that was what I observed. It was so strange. In fact, they are not even waiting for an opportunity to reply. They are just waiting for an opportunity to have their say, to just say their piece, whatever it may be. And I sat there during lunch a bit shell-shocked because I was like, I've just been gone for half a year. What happened to them? After some reflection, I realized that no, they haven't really changed much. They have always been like that. And perhaps I was a bit like that as well. Yeah. I had the privilege of attending some different sets of training involving communication, public speaking, but most importantly, it was training on counseling. And one of the training was active listening, mindful listening. It was a very interesting series of training. Yeah, and it opened my eyes to the fact that, half the time we are not really listening. But why do we do that? Yeah? If you think about it, that was a relatively simple story, then followed by some analysis. Analysis, there's no repetition, a lot of ideas, a lot of concepts. How many of you, as you read through, started to think about the implications of this article? Yeah, how many of you started to think about the implications? Yes. One of the first thing about active listening is don't try to think. Yeah. In a way, this is a trap because the way it's written, the way we write articles can invite people to think. We can also write articles to make people just laugh but not think. Yeah. So when we think as we listen, it's not altogether a bad thing. Okay, it shows that we are trying to engage as well. But then the unfortunate thing is that when we do that, we start to stop listening. Yeah. Once you start to think, you actually stop listening. So, considering that this is an article on the screen, you can reread, parts that you miss out. How many of you read and you find yourself pausing halfway? Yeah? Anybody? Yeah? You would pause halfway. And the pausing is when we start to think. Yeah? Or we may read, and then we may go back to the sentence again, because after you finish reading the whole thing, you're like, wow, what was that about? Yeah? So the what was that about is part of thinking. It's not altogether, again, it's not a bad thing. We are trying to comprehend. So we go back to read again. But now if you consider this, if now you've closed your eyes and I were to read to you, okay, just let's say imagine this, okay, if you just close your eyes now and listen to what I'm saying. Now, how was it that you were able to learn this ability either from a person, a book, or the web? Would you be able to do so if you did not understand the language used? You would not be able to even understand whatever is written in this article if you did not learn the English language. So learning English was a prerequisite to learning the above ability. Apply the same reflection on the English language. Go through slowly and deeply. And now consider this. Yeah, you can open your eyes now and you think about it. How much do you think you retain this time round, given that you have already read through, compared to the first time round? Yeah. Because once you hear the words, it's gone. Yeah. If I were to now maybe just pick up one other article, let's say Blessings of the Flower Mandala, and now you close your eyes and I read to you. Okay? Close your eyes. Yesterday was Vesak Day, and at Kong Ming San Pokasi Monastery, we celebrated it with 3 steps, 1 bow on the eve, recitation of the Buddha's teachings, lantern displays highlighting the 4 gratitudes towards one's parents, country, sentient beings, and the triple gem, Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha. A fifth highlight this year was highlighted this year was the very planet we all reside in. Without our parents, we do not even exist. Through them, we are born, and with their love, care, and upbringing, we learn values, get an education, and come to be where we are now in life. But it is not just through them. Without the nation, with its infrastructure, the peace and stability where it exists, that they are able to bring us up. In some cases, the country offers much lesser than the land itself. And in such cases, it is to the land that we are grateful. Okay, so now pause for a while. Yeah. Now I want you to, I'm going to scroll away. I want you to recap in your mind what you have heard compared to reading earlier, which is easier. How many of you find that reading and then just reading once at the same speed that I read, is easier than listening? How many of you find that it's easier to listen than to read? When I say easier, I don't mean that very relaxed, I just sit down there and read. Yeah, this is easier, but which is easier to retain? Okay? Yeah. So again, is it easier to retain given that, the reading, you're given the same amount of time? So which is easier, to have the words up there or to have someone read to you? How many of you would still find it easier to have someone read to you? How many of you would find it easier to have something read to you? Okay? So now, those who find that it's easier to have something read to you, how many of you are confident to repeat that paragraph? On any part of the paragraph? Anybody? Yeah. Now, this is, yes? Huh?
Can I try?
Sure. Okay, so close your eyes and then repeat what you can remember. Close up. Okay, from the first line.
Yesterday was yesterday was Vesak Day, and during Vesak Day Eve, Shifu celebrated Vesak Day with 3-step 1 bow, recitation of the Buddha's teaching, and there is a thanksgiving to the for kindness, the kindness of our parents, the country, to the sentient being, and the Buddha. And in Shifu's story, you reflected on how without the kindness of the parents, we cannot be what we are today, and without the country giving the peace and stability, it would not be possible for the parents to bring up the children. And sometimes the land that offers is more than what the country offers, and we great gratitude to them. That's what I remember.
Very good. I would say that he did pretty well, huh? Would you agree? Yeah. Give him another round of applause. If you're having a conversation with someone and the person is able to remember as much, would you feel that the person is listening? Whereas if halfway through you stop and you ask that person, what did I just tell you? And the person give you a, you know? Yeah, so now I want you all to maybe form pairs, okay? Find a partner, and then I want you all to just spend 5 minutes each. Can I have the mic? 这个打人哦。So, okay. So I want you all to very quickly find a partner, and this is what I need you all to do. 5 minutes each. Each of you will share with the other person how your week was. You don't have to lie. Please do not lie. You know, we just recited Musawada. But just share whatever you feel comfortable to share. Okay? Like if you like this week maybe you murdered someone, and you don't feel comfortable. Yeah. I would presume that you all have not done anything so drastic. Yeah, so 5 minutes, okay? The time starts now. Look for someone, and then you all will take turn, okay? 5 minutes each. At 5 minutes, I will strike the bell, and then you all swap, okay? And this is what I need you all to do. This time round, when the first person is speaking, the second person, I want you all to pay attention, okay? And let me see, should we be doing this part now? Okay, you pay attention and then acknowledge what that person is saying, okay? But don't interrupt that person. Can you all do that? Okay? I think 5 minutes is too long, huh? Yeah. At first you all feel like shy, then later, wow, 没完没了. Okay. Okay, give you all 2 minutes. Okay. Look for a partner starting now. 2 minutes. Yeah. You can use Mandarin, you can use Malayu, you can use Hokkien. Okay?
one commented that interesting enough, and I didn't find anything interesting, so I couldn't convince him that it was interesting. So I spent most of yesterday and today trying to look through the entire list of papers. Entire list
1 minute left. Time to move beyond your childhood. Twenty seconds left. Okay, swap. Now the listener shall speak and then the speaker shall listen. Okay. To make things more interesting, now who is supposed to speak? The listener just now is supposed to speak. Raise your hand, listen. The speaker now, the new speaker. Okay, raise your hand. Okay, now you are supposed to speak. Yeah. So just now, who is listening? Raise your hand. Whoever was listening, I'm confused already. Whoever was speaking just now, raise your hand. The first round speaker. Okay. So second round, you're supposed to listen. So second round, when you listen, don't pay attention. This one you all are quite expert. Don't pay attention. Yeah. So you all must act like you are not interested. Okay, like bo chap, like You feel free to take out your handphone. Okay, starting now. Some of you are too attentive. The second round not supposed to pay attention and you are paying too much attention. Not supposed to listen. The listener is not supposed to listen now. I cut short. 来，我你看讲不完了，一发不可收拾。Okay, so attention. Okay, what happened? So I noticed that some of you were still. You are too kind. So sometimes it's not easy. Yeah, given certain social constructs, we are used to one mode or another. But why is it that sometimes, maybe it's not that we don't want to pay attention. Sometimes maybe there's something on your mind, Yeah. If you don't have anything on your mind and what the other person is saying is interesting, of course you want to pay attention. Yeah. The other person tell you, hey, got one kang tao, wow, freehold, whatever. Yeah, of course we want to listen. Then the person keep on talking about the same thing, a long story, grandmother's story or something, or grandfather's story. Yeah. But I noticed that a lot of you were still paying close attention. So now I want you all to, again, raise your hand. The first group of listener. First group of listener, raise your hand. Okay, so the first group who listened, you all were paying attention, right? Then the speaker, first group, Did you all feel like your listener were listening to you? How did it make you feel? Do you feel like you want to talk more? Did anybody feel like not talking? How about the second group? I know that we swap, yeah, but second group, when the speaker role has swapped, some of you continue to listen, but some of you were very cooperative. You really, la la la. Yeah? So, who are the speakers in the second round? Speaker, second round. Did you all feel encouraged to speak? Oh, Craig still feel encouraged. Craig don't care. You don't listen, I continue. No lah, my mother is very kind. She's still, Yeah. Yeah, normal day she's already like, So, just now I heard, who someone, I overhear someone say, I don't want to say already, you're not listening. How many of you felt that way? That because the other person is not listening, you don't feel like speaking? Anybody? Or you all still feel like, I still got time, I'm supposed to speak. Now, granted, this is a mock-up. Yeah, this is a scenario play. But despite the scenario play, perhaps we can do another round. And this time round, because just now I only gave you 1 minute, yeah, we'll do another round remaining the same rule. So the last round, whoever is a speaker, continue to speak. Whoever is a listener, now you do active listening. You really pay attention. Okay? Are you all ready? Huh? No, second round supposed to listen. Okay, time's up. 哇，有说不尽的心事啊。Okay, so now very quickly, I want you all to just recap the second group who were the speakers. You have spoke twice. Yeah, you have had the chance to speak twice. The first time round, your partner is supposed to be disinterested. Yeah, that means don't listen to you. Second round, the partner pays attention. Yeah, how many of you feel that your partner didn't do their job? That means when he's supposed to listen, never listen. Not supposed to listen, listen. How many of you felt a difference? Only a few felt a difference. How many of you didn't feel a difference between the two sessions? How many of you have no idea what you're supposed to do? Sometimes when we conduct this kind of session, everybody is very happy, but don't know what they're supposed to do. I hope that through the two sessions, you all may experience at least some differences. Yeah, the difference between when someone is paying attention and when someone is not paying attention. Would you say that it felt better or worse between the two sessions? The first session, did it feel better, or the second session? Second session. Did anybody feel that the first session was better? If you do feel that first session was better, see me after this. You may be surrounded by very toxic people. So you are used to people not listening to you. No, and jokes aside, I'm serious about this, you know, that if we spend too much time with people who don't really listen to us, then suddenly when you meet new friends who are really paying attention, you may initially feel a bit uneasy. You feel very naked and you start to feel like you have to, you know, censor some things you say because the other person is, you know, you may even feel the person is probing, but actually the person is merely listening to you. Yeah. How about the second session? No, the first time round, when the other person is not really paying attention, how did you all feel? How did you all feel? You feel like you're talking to yourself? How many of you feel that you are talking to yourself the first time round? Yeah? What else? What else did you all experience?
No eye contact.
No eye contact. How many of your listeners made eye contact during the first round? How about second round? So eye contact is important for active listening. Yeah? While we may be on the receiving end for those who are doing the speaking, but from there we can actually learn something as well. That when we are speaking to people, occasionally maintaining the eye contact is helpful. Yeah, but be careful, huh? 3 to 4 second rule. You maintain for too long, huh? Sometimes there's sparks. So sometimes when I counsel couples, this is one of the exercises I give them. Husband and wife, yeah, I get them every day after work to have 5 to 10 minutes of alone time. That means if you have children, lock them in the storeroom. or just throw them outside first, you know. And then spend just 5 to 10 minutes looking at each other. Yeah, maybe not the full 5 minutes look at each other. No, but just look at each other for a while. Because you'll be surprised, the people that we are closest to, we don't really look at them, you know. We forget to look at them. Not that we are, wow, so crazy, look at everybody else. But because they're always there, then we forget to look at them, you know. Until one day when you look at them, how come you're so old? But it's not that the young girl that you marry just suddenly become old, no? Hey, how come you're so fat? No, it's not that your husband become fat suddenly. Every time you cannot finish, then let him eat, then you become fatter and fatter. So communication is not just the words. Listening is not just about our ears also. It's about paying attention, giving attention to the other person. And for many couples, if their situation is too bad, too rough already, a lot of them cannot even do this exercise. They don't feel comfortable. But for those that is just a bit off, when they do this exercise, it helps them to, in a way, reconnect. Yeah. And it's not just between couples, between spouses, but between parent and child also. Yeah, parent and child. Yeah, to have that air time. Have that air time. So, besides eye contact, what else? Of course, with eye contact, then can your conversation partner be looking at the computer or handphone? Yeah. Did any of your partner look at the handphone as Sifu instructed? Anybody? Oh, your partner. Well done. Yeah. And then how did you feel?
Feel like talking to myself.
Again, feel like talking to yourself. You talk, then how did Cheryl respond? Just scrolling. Yeah, so almost quite instinctively, when we are listening to people, sometimes we will nod our head. Yeah, so this is a way to acknowledge. But you must be careful if you are just doing this mechanically, or if you are really connecting with what the person is saying. Yeah, because as part of speech training and as part of active listening, we are taught this also. Yeah, to acknowledge the person's statement by nodding the head and then paraphrasing what the person said. And so all these are things that we can do to promote communication. But you must be careful not to just do it mechanically, because the other person can actually feel it. Yeah, they'll feel like you're just going through motion, you know. Yeah, then after a while, switch off. Something I've tried before quite a few times, and unfortunately successfully, is halfway through a conversation, mid-sentence, I'll just stop. Yeah, I've played such tricks on people before. I do this when I notice that the other person is no longer listening. Then I'll just pause and then I'll just stop mid-sentence. But I'll stop with the right tone, so if you're not paying attention, you'll feel like I have finished my sentence. And then the person go on, Then I look at the person. When I first noticed this, I was quite frustrated. I was like, "Walao, what is this? Wasting my time, you know." But over the years, I start to feel slightly differently. I'm not sure whether it's compassion, but I don't feel so angry about them anymore, because I realized that they are just so caught up with everything that's happening in their life. They are not able to even just have a proper conversation with someone. Yeah. So you may want to try this, but you must be mentally prepared. Okay. Yeah, because the results may not be flattering. Yeah. And even more importantly, what to do if it happens this way or that way. If you stop halfway, and if your friend or your family member just continue nodding. The worst is, like if your friend is using the phone and continue nodding, it's not so bad really. What is worse is if the person is looking at you and continue nodding. And you have stopped, you know. It has happened to me before. Yeah, was it a case that I handled? No, it was a discussion about something. And the person was just staring, seemed to be looking at me. And then I realized that the person is not even looking at me, it's just staring through me and was just deep in his thought or something, you know. I was like, wow, this is another level altogether. So active listening is also about how we feel. Yeah, like the speaker, if we don't listen, it makes the person feel, what's the word? Disappointed. Yeah, we feel disappointed because the person who is speaking, when not listened to, feel disappointed. But the other part of it is our emotions. Yeah, because many times, the moment we feel disappointed or we feel upset that the person is not listening, then we stop communication also. Yeah, so learning to manage our emotions is important. And then this brings us to another part of active listening, which is the why. Why do active listening? Yeah, why do active listening? It is because of the consideration that if we don't do it, the other person feels really shitty, you know. Yeah. Over the years, I realized that one of the worst things you can do to a person is not to acknowledge the person's existence, to just ignore the person. And the worst way to ignore a person is to be in front of the person and ignore the person. Yeah. So active listening is a lot about caring for others. It's not simply about listening. Yeah. As they say, don't listen with your ear, but listen with your heart. Yeah, but don't listen with your emotion. Because our emotion is very, very messy. Yeah, our emotions can often color what we listen. Color what we listen. The exercises we have gone through, whether it's your one-to-one, this is just the surface of the whole process. When you were sharing, you're not required to share very sensitive things. Yeah? And because the things you share are just things that happen, and maybe just some random things, so there's not much emotions vested. So it's a lot easier. The story I shared, 7 buns, is quite light-hearted. The second part is a bit heavier. Yeah? So when it's a bit heavier, it's a bit hard for us to still just listen or read with a very objective state. But that's the challenge. Yeah, that's the challenge. How can we maintain that emotional stability while listening or speaking? And then to have due consideration for the other person. Yeah. Last thing, we don't have time to do more exercises, but I want to just touch on one last point before we wrap up. And it is that I have, oops, sorry. Hello, yes. I have talked to many individuals, and a few comments came from students. And some of them were curious. How is it possible to listen to so many people talk? Yeah, of course, for some of you all may think, Sifu, you listen to people talk, you keep talking one. No? When you hold the mic, don't stop. At 3 o'clock, still don't stop. But actually, I spent a lot of time listening to people also. I started, as I've shared with you all before, years ago. And I have 2 teachers who teach me that. My mom and my father. Yeah. They spend hours talking to me. Talk. So I learned to talk a lot from them. I also learned to listen from them also. Yeah, listening, paying attention. But what is most intriguing is one of the students commented, but I don't find it interesting to listen to what they have to say. Do you find that sometimes what people are talking about is not so interesting? Yeah? And this is one key factor why we unconsciously, not that we are bad people, not that we are so like cold-hearted, bo liang xing, heartless, switch off, but we cannot help it. It's like a boring movie, boring, then you yeah, TV series, boring, switch channel. But then with your friend, you cannot switch, ma. So how? You switch off. Then you, So how can we change that? Simple solution, change your friend. The simple solution, but may not be the right solution. Yeah, because if you do that, you'll find that you will soon run out of friends. Because if you keep switching just to look for a friend who is interesting, you must know, no? Other people are also switching you. You can switch people, people can switch you also. And for friends, at most you switch friends. But what about if it's your family? Yeah? Maybe you find that your children, I always talk about those nonsense, this game, that game, what is so interesting about Minecraft? My family members, even before I become monk, I have this comment on me. Always, my relatives always say that I'm like a kid. Even when I'm in secondary school, I'll play with kids who are in primary school. Even when I'm in JC, army, university, I will still play with kids in their teens. And when I'm playing with them, I'm really like a kid playing with them. You see, just I made a sound and he excited already. That's communication, But you see, as we grow up, we stop to be very limited in our interests. It's not that I don't have adult interests. I have. Yeah. It's not that I'm really like so interested in toys. Yeah, but I'm interested in that person, in that kid. And if the kid is interested in a toy, I'm going to be interested in a toy. I'm not being hypocritical. I'm not. I'm just taking interest. And I don't have a tool, a mantra, or an exercise to just say, okay, do this and then you become like that. I don't. But if you manage to learn to don't fall into that habitual state of judging something as, is this interesting or not? Does this concern me or not? Does this bring value to me or not? Don't be so quick to bring in your ruler to measure things like that. Because if you think about it, playing with a kid or with all those toys doesn't do us much. When someone tells us about this and that, usually don't bring us much value. And this is why we don't find it interesting. Sometimes when I talk to people, new students or new friends I meet, I'll ask them what they do. And some of them will share a bit, and then I'll ask more. And usually the response is they are somewhat surprised. They are like a bit uncomfortable. And why? Because they are not used to people taking so much interest in what they are doing. So a common reply is, no, my job is very boring. And I'll say, no, I'm interested. And they're like, what is this monk into, Like you see from some special intelligence group or something, 调查户口, Yeah. But I'm genuinely interested in what people do. So I've been asking people what they do. And that's why I know a bit about different fields, even though I didn't study all these fields. I do not mistaken that I'm saying I'm an expert in all these fields. But just knowing a bit more, I find that it's interesting, because then I can know what goes on in their life. Because if you think about it, for practically all of us who are working, we spend at least 10 hours at work. So if you can know one more thing about what the other person is doing at work, you are knowing a huge part of their life already, Isn't that interesting? And if you can have that additional interest, then the conversation, you will have genuine spark in your eye to listen, and the other person can tell the difference. And this would lay the foundation for active listening, active conversation. That's all we have for the time today. I hope this has opened a small window, or maybe in the year, in our heart, for us to explore. There are many more exercises, and I'm not professionally trained in this. I'm just sharing with you what I've experienced in all the different workshops I've gone through, and also from my own observation, conversation with people. I hope it has maybe sparked some interest. All right? Thank you. Hi, Chili.